All right, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Now, enjoy this video. Okay, we're back to recap a crazy NFL trade deadline day where two massive trades took place. I want to break them down both from both teams' perspective. Let's start with the biggest trade of the day, and that's Sauce Gardner going to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts are sending back to the Jets 2 first-round picks. So from the Colts' perspective, this is a great move because it shows everybody within the organization and the fans that we're actually trying to win this year. We're not just happy with being with where we're at. We're trying to go for it. With the AFC being wide open this year, it appears we're trying to actually go and win the Super Bowl this year. This is a move that tells everybody within the organization and the fans, hey, we're not happy with just being where we're at. We're trying to go win it all this year. That's what this move, getting Sauce Gardner, says to everybody within that organization and the fans. So from that perspective, I love it. I love when teams go all in. I love when teams go for it and they're trying to win the Super Bowl. That is a great thing for the NFL when more teams do something like this. Now, that's the positive side of this Sauce Gardner trade. The negative side is how much you gave up to get him. 2 first-round picks, that's a lot. Now, nobody will say how much you gave up to get him if you win year after year after year. Now, you're lined up to win this season, but you have Sauce Gardner for, I think, 4 or 5 more years. If you win this year, but then next year you go back down and you're one of the worst teams in the NFL, this trade's going to come back up as a bad trade for the Colts. So this trade all depends on how many games does this team win year in and year out when Sauce Gardner is on the team. Because if you win this year, but then next year you suck, and that first-round pick that you gave the Jets becomes a top 15, top 10 first-round pick, Colts fans aren't probably not going to be that happy. So this trade comes down to how many winning seasons do the Colts have when Sauce Gardner is on the team? If they can consistently win year after year after year, this trade will never come up again by fans, by anybody, if the Colts win. But this trade comes down to, do the Colts win? Not just this year, but for year after year after year, as long as Sauce Gardner is still on the team. Especially the first 2 years. You don't have to win year 4 down the line. But these first 2 years that you don't have your first round pick, you better win. You better win. You have to win almost. It's almost a must win. All right, now let's shift over to the Jets in this Sauce Gardner trade. If you're the Jets and you're a Jets fan, I think you have to be happy. I think you have to be excited. Now, not excited because your team's going to be awful this year. You're not going to be good. You're in a rebuild. But you got 2 first-round picks. And you gave up a guy who's a good player, yes, but maybe a little overrated. And you got off his big salary. So you open up some cap space. Like, if you are a Jets fan, this year's going to suck and next year's probably going to suck. But you've now stockpiled draft picks that can help you with this rebuild and help reboot this rebuild faster. So for the Jets getting 2 first-round picks, you have to be happy. It is rare that we see a corner go for 2 first-round picks. I was actually shocked when I saw that they got 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner. I was stunned. So yes, it sucks that you're going to have to go through a rebuild. It's not going to be fun. You're going to be losing. But at least your main focus now, Jets fans, is looking towards the draft. And if you hit on your first-round picks, this rebuild is going to go by very, very quickly. If you don't, it's going to suck even more because it's going to take even longer. But your mentality now has to just look towards the draft for the next 2 years, maybe 3. And you need to hit on all your first-round draft picks. And if you do, this rebuild can be done in 3 years max. All right, now let's jump over to the second big trade of NFL trade deadline, and that's Quinin Williams going to the Dallas Cowboys. For the Cowboys, I like it. It's an upgrade. But why wouldn't they just re-sign Micah Parsons? Like, if they were going to go out and get a big pass rusher who costs a lot of money, why wouldn't they just re-sign Micah Parsons? That's something I will just never understand. I just won't get it. I never will. I don't understand. If they were going to do this, why didn't they just re-sign Micah? Why? Someone tell me that. But it's certainly an upgrade for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, is it a little too late? Maybe. But it's certainly an upgrade. And for the Jets, like I just talked about in the Sauce Gardner trade, you get 1 first-round pick and a second-round pick. You're already knowing you're in a rebuild after you traded Sauce. You're not a good team. Let's stockpile draft picks. Let's understand that we're in a rebuild, and let's build this thing back up. I think it's excellent. I think if you're the Jets, you've got to be happy. Yes, it sucks. You're a bad football team. You're not good. But you're stockpiling these picks, and if you hit on these picks in the next 2 years, this rebuild can go quickly, and you can be a Super Bowl contender in the next 3 years. But that's my reaction from NFL Trade Deadline. What did you think of NFL Trade Deadline? Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and have an awesome day.